Hi, beautiful healers. Have you ever thought about what someone is doing or did, and you thought, "Oh, that was a really bad thing for them to do," and then after that, you think, "Oh, that's a really bad thing for me to think because of XYZ," and you start to kind of have this angel and devil moment where you're trying to say to yourself, no, what they did was wrong, but then you also try to make reasons for why that might have been okay for that person to do because of the situation that they're in, etc. This fight that you have within yourself about um, behaviors that people exhibit that aren't that great can be thought about in a different way so that you don't put yourself in a negative light either. And the way you can do this is by thinking about levels of consciousness. Now, there are some people who, in their energy, when I look into their energy body, um, you know, they want to be at a certain level of consciousness. They have chosen to be at that level of consciousness. And, some might say that, it's a lower level of consciousness, like their decisions, behaviors all look like, it's a bit unthought through, out of control. But here's the thing, they are choosing to do those things for their own learning, and that's the space that they're comfortable in. For us, it might look like completely irrational behavior. So, if you're conflicted within yourself about their behavior, then you can just look at it as, okay, that's the level of consciousness that they want to operate at this moment. Now, me being at the level of consciousness that I am at, how am I able to look at what they're doing as serving a purpose, serving their purpose, serving a wider purpose? Is it growing my own wisdom? And is it that I am just supposed to be an observer of that behavior so that I am able to learn from that as well? And when you approach it that way, what happens is everything starts to become a piece of learning, a piece of observation, rather than something that you step into and you start getting entangled with, because it's the entanglement that stops us from growing, stops us from learning. It's much like being in a lecture hall or a movie and you're watching what is happening.